Welcome once again to Warcraft Alliance and Horde. After covering all of the different races, I decided to make a separate video that would cover, I guess you could call it the sort of fifth race to a degree, and that's the Mercenaries. Scattered throughout the map you can find this mercenary camp. Once you are a hero, which I have in this case of one of these pandas, next to it you access 5 of these heroes here, and on the other side of the map you can find a Zeppelin port and access the heroes there. Sorry, not heroes, units. Mercenary heroes. So there's 2 different sections that you can buy them from. So we'll start with this one since this is where I am. Once again, you just need to have a hero next to it, click on it, and then you can buy the relevant units. And they have no build time, you can just buy them outright, just like that. It's kind of cool. So here we have a rifle girl, we have a goblin shredder, and we have a zeppelin. Interestingly, with the zeppelins there is no supply cost, so you could have as many of these as you desire, provided you have the gold and mithril to pull it off. So if I wanted to get another rifle girl because I'm 88 out of 90 supply, just click on that, and there she is. Little goblin rifler. And that is where you get all the goblin mercenaries from, the zeppelin port. Over here you can find the mercenary camp, which looks a hell of a lot like Blade's Edge Arena, because it is. And you can buy a ogre champion, a defias rogue, you can buy a siren, a molten giant, or a black dragon. Holy shit, look at that supply cost, 10. You can only have one of these, I believe. And these have a cooldown on everything you buy. So I can't actually buy any more stuff because I've hit my supply limit. But if you want to buy one of these things, you can just buy them, as long as you have control of the mercenary camp. So you can imagine that these things might become quite contested in the early game, because these units are more powerful than your basic stuff. So let's start with the goblins. I have a little hit squad of riflers over here, and these are kind of awesome. She has a freezing trap, so if I wanted to put a freezing trap down, I could put loads of freezing traps down. Anything that walks into those will be frozen for 5 seconds. They also have Stim Pack. Activate this, and for 10 seconds you will gain 40% attack speed and movement speed. So use that, they go crazy, and then they can run around doing all the damage they need to.
Interesting.
They do around the same damage as an archer, I believe. So that's 33, 66. We have an archer over here. 26, 52. They do more damage. They are the better unit. Who would have thought? So the mercenaries are just great right away. As soon as you can get them, try to. Defias Rogue. Now these guys are okay also. Quite a lot of health, decent armour, decent damage. They have Shadow Dance, which is a blink, that is on autocast. They have Eviscerate, which is 75 mana, 50 damage and shock to everything within 3 yards around them, just like the rogue hero. And then Slow Poison, which seems to be a passive, because I can't click it, is 40% movement speed, debuff and attack speed as well. We'll use Eviscerate, and you can see that the mana is just generally going up slowly. So that is how you get a sort of pseudo cooldown on that ability. Ogre champions, loads of health, very nice damage, and a decent amount of armour to boot. Thunderclap, it deals 15 damage and debuffs the damage done and movement speed of the enemies by 15% and 30% respectively for 5 seconds. And it also has this tank unit passive, so it is quite awesome. Naga Sirens. These things are cool. They don't do a lot of damage, but they are ranged, and they have Healing Circle, which is 150 HP to all friendly units within 6 yards. Cooldown is 12 seconds, and they seem to spam it quite regular, so they're quite good healers. They also have Ice Armour, so whenever they get attacked, they freeze the enemy that attacked them. Well, kind of. It's 70% minus 70%, minus 30% attack speed, move speed. So I guess it's a debuff either way for 5 seconds to anything that attacks them. So that's kind of cool also. Mercenaries are very decent stuff to have. Here we have from the Zeppelin port a Goblin Shredder. This thing, quite the beast, because it does 135 versus 45. So you can get a siege unit quite early on in the game if your tech tree's been slowed down to get to something like a blacksmith or a demolisher or something. These also, like the Fell Reaver, have overclock, so they can go very fast attack and movement speed for 15 seconds before exploding. Their actual damage, 45, is quite reasonable when not even attacking structures, and they have quite a lot of armour as well. What else was there? Oh yes, this guy, Molten Giant, which is actually not very molten looking. He looks kind of naturey. He does 100 damage with a 2.3 attack speed. Versus Fortified it's a little less, but versus Medium he crushes the crap out of them. He has 6 armour, and look at that health pool, 2,350. He also has Taunt, which is excellent. Forces people to attack him and him alone. And while he's getting attacked by all that stuff, he is also immune to all the crowd control, and he can parry and dodge stuff. So this guy, hell of a tank. And it's a bit of a throwback to the Warcraft 3 unit, because they had the giants for that race. Last but by no means least is Deathwing. He's called Black Dragon, but as you can see, he uses Deathwing's model. What can he do? Well, he doesn't give two craps about the crowd control that's going on either. Less health than the giant, but still a very respectable amount. He's actually light, strangely enough, and seems to be classed as undead. His armour is 3, his move speed is 4, but what about his damage? Oh yes, 125 standard to air and ground versus heavy 300. So if I go over here and click on medium, if Deathwing decides to kill an archer, he'll do 112 damage. If he decides to go for a druid, that's also medium, must be something good. Priest, unarmoured, that'd do the full damage of 150. Something that might be classed as heavy, such as this ogre champion. Got nice health on it, 1450. This guy does, what, 300 a shot? It's got a weapon speed of 3 and a range of 8. So this is a very strong attack. It actually does a bit more to the air units, interestingly. Even against heroes, he does quite a good amount too. And the last thing from the Zeppelins, the Goblins, is a Zeppelin. So you can get as many of these as you want, and if you want just to get, drag all those and put them into this, you can go and plop them in a Zeppelin, boost them around the map at quite high speed, bypassing cliffs and such, and just drop them down. You can drop in the enemy base if you so wished, which is a tactic I did in an old video. If you get these rifle girls, you can pop those in a Zeppelin, drop behind the work line, pop stim pack, and then just nuke the crap out of everything while laying freezing traps to make sure that anything that might be coming to a defend gets frozen in place and unable to even get close to you. So that is the Mercenary Units available in Warcraft Alliance and Horde. I will also do a Mercenary Hero video too. So thanks for watching and goodbye.